Grab your favorite drink, water, coffee, wine,
lemon drop martini,
margarita,
vodka, Michelob Ultra with some green olives, or whatever you'd like to sip on, because we've got a game for you. Please take a sip every time that you hear a chick pun during this episode. So let's get started. We are going to be cracking into one of our most excellent classroom experiences yet, hatching baby chicks. Yep, that's right. From setting up the incubator to watching tiny beaks break through the shells, this adventure was packed with joy, curiosity, and yes, a little bit of chaos. As magical as it was, it also came with its share of challenges, like managing student expectations, answering big life cycle questions, and navigating the emotional roller coaster of nature in real time. Join us as we share the laughter, the learning, and the moments that made this science lesson one that we will never forget.
This is Teachers on the Loose.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Teachers on the Loose, the podcast where we turn teacher tales into belly laughs and life lessons. I'm Allison.
I'm Celeste.
I'm Kristen.
And I'm Kelsey.
Today, we will be sharing our experiences hatching baby chicks. Over the years, we've had some sweet moments, a few stressful surprises, and plenty of learning along the way. There were days of excitement, a couple of heartbreaks, and even moments where we were nervous if any chicks would hatch at all. But the most magical part was walking down the school hallway and hearing tiny chirps echoing from the classroom. It was a beautiful reminder that new life is beginning and learning is happening in the most memorable way.
But before we hop into that, we want to say a big thank you for tuning into last week's episode, the one where we had an unexpected hero save the day, our custodian. Kelsey, didn't you just have your custodian save the day? What happened to your office?
I sure did. Our custodians are amazing and thought a tornado had hit my office. And so they very nicely fixed it and turned everything right side up before I even came in.
Mad about this, Allison.
What did you two do?
Well, first of all, I do want to say if the custodian is listening, I am so sorry. That was not intended for you to have extra work.
You have coffee gift cards coming to you.
Yes, we will get you a coffee gift card ASAP. But yeah, I mean,
So Allison and I are at a meeting and it's over, and guess whose office was left unlocked and unattended?
I mean, I think that was a rookie mistake.
Yeah, it definitely was. I knew
And
better.
so we're walking by and it's like, well, what do we do? And
Oh, you didn't even say, what do we do? You said, her office is open. We're turning it upside down.
yeah, we upside down her office.
Yep.
Did you get hurt? Are you okay? You didn't
No,
hurt
so there was a small moment where Bailey was like, Celeste, do not touch the table. And I was like, no, I'm not going to touch the table. And then I was like, we have to touch the table.
Yeah, she did.
But it was really heavy.
So instead of doing it herself and getting hurt, she solicited help this time, which I was really proud of you.
job.
Way to be a self-advocate.
Yeah, thanks for helping me.
And it took two of us, and we flipped that table upside down. And your plants that were not real. So it wasn't like we were making a mess with soil. They were fake plants.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
and your little apple and your little dog and your
Your posters.
posters.
We upside downed a lot.
Yeah.
We were
and
in there a
then-
while.
And then my favorite part was we were getting ready to leave and Allison saw your to-do list and she's like, wait, hold on. I'm like, what are you writing? What did you write?
And I wrote to do, turn my office right side up, and then text the people that I love and tell them how fun this was.
And so
Something
then we
like
gave
that,
little
didn't I?
clues
Something
to
like that.
Kelsey in the text message. We were like, man, Kelsey, you've got a long to-do list to do.
Yeah. And then, but you know, we should have known because the whole time we were in there, the custodian had like one eye on us and like was cleaning the health room and then like kept looking over at us. And I was so into the prank and giggling like, oh my gosh, I'm having fun with Kelsey's office. But then when you came in the next morning, you were like, what? No, my office is fine. Because
Yeah.
what happened?
Yeah, all of my papers were upside down, but everything else was right side up, but it was just all slightly off. Like it was really messing with my head. Like my table was just at a slightly different angle. My little thing that holds mints was at a slightly different angle. My picture frame, it was all slightly off, and it was definitely messing with me because I like pay attention. I'm like detail oriented, so I know which angle my picture frames are at. So it
I
definitely
wouldn't have known if you if you would have turned my classroom upside down and then the custodians would have came and put it right back up, right side up. I would have been like, oh, everything's in its place. Awesome.
So I thought that was the prank. I thought that was the prank that you just like slightly messed everything up just to mess with my head. But then later in the day, I was talking to our custodian and he was like, everything was upside down. Everything. And he was like going on and on about it. We were dying laughing. And I was like, oh, that explains like the slightly off because he was so nice and put it all back together.
Oh, we love our
Sweet.
custodians.
I just
it
think
was
it's
so sweet.
Although it's kind of funny that he knew exactly where things went.
I know. It was all
Yeah.
like ready to go for the day. It
I'm
was
just
really
so
sweet.
mad. I'm just so mad.
Hard work.
I really wanted Kelsey to walk in and see everything upside down and be like, oh, man, you guys. Actually, I really wanted your son to see it.
Oh, he would have loved that. Oh my gosh. He would have loved
Yeah,
that.
he's our future prankster in the making.
Yeah, he is. All right, let's peck back into today's episode and talk about why we thought it was a great idea to have first graders hatch baby chicks. I mean, was it just a whim or was it actually tied to standards?
Yeah, it's definitely standards based. Life cycles are a part of our science standards, but more specifically in first grade, the standard is all about how parents and babies are similar but different. But let's be real, we also thought this would be super fun and definitely a cute experience to help our students understand life cycles. So let's hatch some chicks.
Absolutely. So let's talk about some of the good, the bad, and maybe some of the not so great experiences that came with hatching chicks in our classrooms.
Well, I guess it all starts with calling our chick lady. Is that what we're going to name
That's
her?
how she's saved in my phone.
Chick lady.
At one point, I think all of us had that job of arranging how many eggs we were going to get, making sure we had the dates all set and getting our incubators ready because you always have to get it prepped a couple of days before. Allison's amazing at going around to all 6 classrooms with her little instruction manual on the
Yes.
incubator and making sure we're all set.
Yep.
And then we drive off and go get those chicks.
We didn't get the chicks. We got the eggs.
Wait, let's be real. Kristen doesn't drive.
I don't go far.
That's so funny.
Especially in bad weather, as in there's a snowflake falling gently down to the ground. I do go along for the ride.
You did come along for the
Yes.
ride, but it was a long drive, so you were definitely not driving.
And well, the last time we went, we got there. It was a cold, snowy day.
So hence you were not driving.
I was in the back seat. We get there and the guy's like, here they are. And lo and behold, there's a cat sitting on top of all the eggs. They were in cartons, but you can't have them start to get warm. You have to,
Yeah. So the cat was acting like the chicken.
Yeah, it was incubating the eggs. And we're like, oh. And then we lifted up the box and we said, oh, again, because there was a lot.
There was a lot, so we had to pick them up and put them in the car. And, you can't just drive with eggs in your car. You got to buckle them in. So I buckle my eggs into the car.
You have to be extra safe.
You do have to be extra safe. I
Yes.
stuck Kristen in the back so that, I could.
She is extra safe.
Why are you laughing? I had an arm wrapped around them.
And then we take the careful drive back to the school and go deliver all the eggs and put them into the incubator. But what usually happens?
All of a sudden we will every year be so surprised. Oh my gosh, we have too many eggs and not enough room in the incubators. And then we feel horrible because we don't want to be responsible for some of these eggs not hatching. Like, we want to give everything a fair chance at life, right? Like, we don't want to just discard them, right? So I think one year, Celeste, didn't you like just march up to the principal's office and say, we need another incubator like tonight?
Yeah.
Sure did. So I found an incubator that would hold all the extra eggs, and I had it pulled up on Amazon, and I was like, hey, favorite principal, that you love us so, so, so much that you know that we need this incubator. So can we order it like right now?
And she said,
She said yes.
Yes.
awesome.
That's awesome.
Sure did. And so that incubator came the very next day, and we put those eggs in it in the library, and
All was
everything
good.
was great and perfect and wonderful.
Mhm.
And I loved that when we had an incubator in the library, because all of the students got to experience that in all of the grades, and they were all so excited about it.
You make an excellent point.
Gosh, you guys, you're cracking me up.
Okay, so then we get them all into the different incubators, some in the library, some in our classrooms. But all of those eggs came, and some were blue, and some were green, and some were white, and some were brown.
So what's your favorite egg color?
Well, I personally liked the blue because when they hatch, a little baby chick comes out that looks like a little chipmunk. It has a little stripe down its back.
Oh, those
And
are
it's
cute.
called the Americana chick.
Yeah.
And so I always wanted to have at least one or two of those in my batch because I loved when the little chipmunks come out.
Those are cute.
Same. They're adorable.
I like the brown eggs because I like the yellow little chicks. They're
Aw.
super cute. I mean, that's what I imagine when, we talk about hatching chicks. There's just little yellow ones. And sometimes they have a little stripe across or on top of their head. So fun.
They're classic.
Yeah.
Okay, I really like the chicks that hatch out of the white eggs. They're called Polish chicks, and when they hatch out, they have these little poofs on top of their head. It looks like a little pom-pom. And then when they grow up, they have like a full-blown crown of feathers on their head. They're like the cutest little things.
Didn't you like follow up with yours? You had one.
It won in a 4-H competition.
Are you serious?
Oh,
That's
no
awesome.
way.
Wow.
That's
We had
amazing.
award-winning chicks.
Yeah.
Who knew?
So was there ever a time that something went wrong with one of the eggs?
So yeah, there was a cracked egg that one time. And I
Yeah.
remember like YouTubing a video on how to
Yes.
save the chicken from the cracked egg.
Yeah, I called you for whatever reason. It was probably like a weekend or something. And you had been watching videos for like an hour how to save this chick. And I was like, wow, you are so dedicated. So yeah, you melt the candle and the wax, you let it drip onto where the crack is, and it fixes it.
I don't know. Don't try this at home, people. That doesn't feel very scientific.
Just
I can't
go watch
remember, did
YouTube.
the- yeah.
Watch YouTube
Do your own research,
Yeah.
definitely.
and get YouTube
But
educated.
do you remember, did the chick make it?
Yes, sure. I have no
They
idea.
all made it, right?
Yes, they all.
Wink, wink.
Yep.
So what was your favorite part of hatching chicks?
Day 21.
What's day 21?
Day 21 is when the pips start.
Oh, that is the best.
And you can start to hear them chirp from inside the egg, and you just know the magic is about to happen. And I would put a camera on my incubator and then display it on the big screen so we could all watch.
You actually were so worried about it. You had a live stream overnight.
100%. Yeah, I did. I wanted to watch every one of my babies be born,
Yeah.
be hatched.
Yeah, because a lot of times they would. We'd come in and the next morning we'd
Yeah.
have like 3 chicks. And we're like, what? That happened overnight.
Yeah. So you would set up a camera overnight. And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then during the day, I mean, we were still learning, but maybe not as much. We were just anticipating the eggs hatching. So
Yeah.
we would work, and then we'd watch, and then we'd work, and then we'd watch.
And wasn't it amazing how we had perfect attendance on those days? I mean, honestly, like the kids were like, today's the day. Like we were excited about day 21, but like, let's be real. But yeah, when you're 6 or 7 years old and you know that there's going to be a chick hatching in your classroom, like there's no way you're missing school
it's
that day.
exciting.
It's so exciting. That would be the first thing they would say when I would greet them at the door. Did any of our eggs hatch? How many chicks do we have? And I'm like, go look and see.
And then after that came the naming process, right? After all the chicks were starting to hatch, then we had to come up with names. Did you guys have your kids vote on that?
Yeah, we always voted.
Did you hatch a plan to come up with chicken names?
Oh, Kelsey, great question.
We did hatch a plan. We would I would let every kid write their favorite name on a piece of paper, and then we'd pick the top ones and we would vote. There was always a cookie, a chicken nugget.
Chicken nugget just seems wrong.
My favorite of all time, I actually named, because let's be real, 6-year-olds don't know who Mr. T is, but he had the little poof on his head and he looked just like Mr. T. And I even made him a little gold chain with a coin on it, and I had him wear it. And then we did a little
about, fool?
yeah, and then we did a little photo shoot.
Oh, you're cracking me up.
I love that so much. Oh my gosh.
Or that one time that there was a fire drill, and I was like, wait, children, you go outside. It's fine. I'm just going to grab the chickens.
I know this is wrong, but we had assigned students that were grabbing chicks. Is that wrong?
No, that's a smart plan.
Yeah.
No life left behind.
Yeah, they were worried, so we assigned chicks.
Exactly. Good planning.
So it's all fun and games until it's not. Because sometimes in the circle of life, things don't go as planned. Isn't that right, Allison?
You know, you got to have the good with the bad. You can't always have sunshine and roses, right? Mm-hmm. And it is a teaching moment of like the cycle of life. And so we did have one or two over the years not make it, where maybe they hatched and the next morning I go to check on Kelsey's chickens and I give her a quick text and say, hey, so you've got all of the chickens huddled in one corner and the heating lamp is a little lower than what it normally was.
Yeah.
And you have one chicken just laying on its back, basking in the sun. But I
fried chicken.
It was fried.
yeah.
Apparently the heating lamp kind of fell.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I think
So,
really bad.
chicken?
The one chick just, I believe he took a nap and he just saw the light and didn't come back. But so then I text Kelsey and I said, do you want me to take care of this before, you come in? She was like, yes, please. So of course,
What a good friend.
I went and got the custodian.
Because they're the real superheroes.
They are. And he came with his baggie and, I'm sure he buried it. in
He
that
did.
Yeah.
and did a little ceremony for it. But,
Sure.
but yeah, so there were some times like that where it was just
Yeah.
not all cracked up as we thought it would be.
Do you remember the year when we had to have a chick hospital?
Yes.
Yeah, that was not a good year.
That was a rough year. We were trying
Yeah.
to figure out like if we just got a bad batch of eggs or
They just
if
got a little
our-
scrambled, I think.
I think it was with the humidity. I think the humidity was off, and because we had like a couple of them born with like deformed legs.
Yeah.
And that was
Not a good
rough.
year.
I had a student who was so concerned about this chick that she asked for some popsicle sticks, and she made a little chick splint for the little chick's leg. And then one of our paraprofessionals had to go next door into the chick hospital and fasten it to the leg. And,
Oh.
I think that chick is doing good now, right?
sure.
Yes.
So good.
Yes.
I don't know that he won the 4-H
No, just the other one,
prize,
Mr.
but
T.
he probably took second or third. Is what
Yeah.
I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Well, and not all the chick eggs hatch because there's
Right.
not a chick in it. And last year, I had my class was super sensitive and very loving. And I had told them, because we candle our eggs, day
What does that
9?
mean? Explain to me what candling
Basically,
is.
you put a flashlight on the chick or
On
on
the
the egg.
egg.
I'm sorry. And to see if there's something in the egg. And you can definitely tell if something's growing or if something is not. And there's a few in my incubator that weren't growing. And when it was past day 21, maybe day 26, I'm like, okay, it's time to clean them up. The eggs that didn't hatch, and they were very sad. I'm like, you guys, there wasn't anything in it. It was just a regular, like an egg you would get from the grocery store. But they're very sweet and kind, and that was really hard for them.
Yeah.
They were being real mother hens to those little eggs.
So then the chicks start to grow. And you have to teach while there's chickens in your classroom.
And they aren't quiet.
Well, it's not distracting at all.
Well, okay, so can I just say really quick, there is that time in between where you have like 1 or 2 that have hatched and they are now out of the incubator and into like the
habitat.
with the warmer and now
The brooder.
Since Kelsey,
we retired that one.
We retired those heating lamps. Now we
Oh,
have
good.
Now we have they're pretty
They're
professional.
fancy.
Yeah,
They're excellent. They are just they are really good. They won't
seeing your rooms.
yeah, they won't cook any chickens. But so we have like a couple that are out and in the habitat, but we still have the eggs trying to be hatched in the incubator. And all of a sudden those babies in the habitat will screech to the babies. Like they get really, really loud because they're
Come
trying
on out,
to
friends.
they're
Time to
encouraging
come out.
they're encouraging their friends to come out. So they'll hear the little baby chips and cheeps in the eggs and they'll just start squawking like, come on out. And that's, I think, the hardest time because it gets really loud.
Well, it's just so cute too.
So what ends up happening is Celeste will just pick up the noisiest one and teach all day long, carrying the baby around.
I feel like Celeste said, "Kids, get on your computers," and she would just walk around and
Okay,
cuddle.
no, that is absolutely not true. I would do Haggerty holding a chick.
Okay,
Yeah. No, she would.
she would do her work.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
I would.
I bet you had really good engagement during that time.
Absolutely. I'm
Yeah.
like, hey guys, look here.
I was rocking back and forth. I was teaching a writing lesson because it was so loud. And so I just like rocked
Aw.
like a baby while I was teaching how
Didn't
to
fall
write.
asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you know what happens? Those darn chicks, they grow up real fast.
Yeah, they do.
And they start getting their adult feathers. And they start being naughty. And by being naughty, I mean they learn how to jump up on the heating lamp. And then I had my back counter completely transformed into the habitat. And the side pieces weren't super tall. They were like maybe
12 inches.
if they would jump up on the heat lamp, they could see out into the world. And those naughty little chickens would get up there and then they'd start trying to escape. And
Eggscape?
they did try to eggscape. And one time they did eggscape. And I came into a loose chicken in my classroom.
Were your feathers in a flap?
My feathers were in a ruffle. I was like, get over here, chicken. But then it struck a good idea. And I was like, hey, you like to be out of your habitat? All right, bud. In one of our learning spaces, we had all of these cool things that we could check out. And
Like
use in our
different
classroom.
manipulatives, right?
Yeah. And there were these plastic giant pieces and you could build things with them. And so I challenged my class to build an obstacle course for the chickens. And we would lay paper on the ground and then each group would get to come add pieces to the little obstacle course. And then we'd sit in a circle all around and we'd put the chicks in the middle and say, go.
You know, one year I went and got the Connects, you know, like the things that you can like put together and they move. And the kids made like a Ferris wheel and swings. Yeah. And they made swings and they made different like teeter totters and like they made a
Wow.
playground for the
Your
chicks.
chicks, yeah.
And they didn't really like anything, but they did like the swing. They would get on that swing.
They
and
really
just,
did?
They really did. Like would get on the swing and just swing back and forth.
Oh, that's so extra special.
It was. Somebody from the district popped into my classroom and I'm like, come on in, come look at this. And she was like, oh my gosh, that is excellent. And then, okay, she didn't say that, but she was like, that's so cool. But I was like trying to be really educational with it, where they had to design a piece of equipment from the playground for a chicken. And then they had to go try it. And then if their prototype wasn't great, then they had to go back and revise and redesign and then go back. And
Good learning.
it was
I
fun.
love that.
It was fun.
And then the sad day comes when we have to say goodbye to all the chicks.
Yeah.
I
And
don't
it's
like to
only
talk
like a
about it.
week later. Like
mean, it's
we don't get
fast.
much time with them.
It's so fast.
I was okay with it though.
And then the
nature.
kids cry and they get sad. And it's like, nope, it's okay. They're going back to the farm.
Yeah. They really are going back to the farm. That's
Yeah,
not just a
yeah.
saying. That's not like when your dog is old and they're like, we're going to take it to the farm. No, they really were going to the farm. And that one year, there was a little boy who was in 4-H and he had chickens and he had a bunch of different farm animals, and they lived east of town, and their barn caught fire, and a lot of their animals passed in the fire. And so he was rebuilding his chicken coop and where his chickens were, and a woman from the community came to me and said, "Where do you take your chickens when you're done?" And I said, "Well, we usually give them back to the farmer." And she said, "Do you think that you could donate them to this family?" And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." So we talked to the farmer, and he was like, "Absolutely." And so we got to bring the chickens out to his farm, and he was 9 years old, and he was so excited that he got new chickens. But it was one of those moments where you were just like, we're connecting to the community, and we're having an impact on this little boy's life, and our students are learning, and it was just one of those moments that everything just kind of came together.
All right, well, that was really sweet, but we're going to talk now about some funny moments with chicks. I had a few chicks poop on me, poop on a few students.
How'd that go for you?
It was okay on my hand, but then one of them pooped on my jeans.
Did you have to go home?
Did you crack under the pressure?
I definitely cracked under the pressure.
Okay, but did you go to the doctor?
I did not go to the doctor.
Excuse me, Dr. So-and-so, I got pooped on. I think I might have caught a disease. Can you
Right?
just test me for
Right?
everything?
No, my son brought me a new pair of jeans. It was all good.
nice.
But one day, as I was teaching another amazing lesson for my sweet first graders, my students were highly engaged, as usual, listening to
Yes.
every word
Of course.
that I was saying. Celeste and another teammate decided to come barreling, you could say barreling, into my classroom, yelling like crazy people. They start grabbing chicks out of the habitat and plopping them down on student tables as my students were learning, and they were just like,
Oh my
what do we
gosh.
do? They just sat there, and then, I don't know, did you guys just like leave after you came in?
We just left. We were like, okay, have fun, bye.
And I was like, thanks for, dropping off and leaving chaos behind. Yeah, that was really fun. I just put them back, and we continued with our learning.
That's awesome. Didn't we get like shirts too one year?
Yeah, we got some shirts, and some of us wanted to get some inappropriate shirts, but we couldn't, for school.
Doesn't it say I love my flock?
Yes, it says "Love your flock."
Yeah, and it has a bunch of chicks on it.
What was the inappropriate one you wanted?
Clucking
It's like-
amazing.
Yeah, something like that. Mother
you.
cluckers.
Hey, speaking of new beginnings, for a few of us next school year.
Yeah.
So, my friend Allison,
yes.
do you have a new plan hatching for next year?
So I do have a new exciting adventure next year.
That's excellent. Tell us more.
I'm going to be going to the school that Kelsey works at next year.
I'm
So-
excited too.
So this was a couple years in the working. I knew that the new school was opening up, and I really wanted to have an opportunity to work with older kiddos and have fresh ideas and different perspectives. But the timing wasn't right when the school was opening. And I do have to say that I truly do love the school that I'm at right now. And so it is with mixed emotions that I am moving on to a new adventure. But I just feel like sometimes change is good to continue to grow and to just try new things. And so I'm going to miss my old school very, very much. Like I can't even, it's the most weird feeling. It's the weirdest feeling because like, how do you feel two emotions that are so opposite at the same time? But I am very excited for a new adventure and to try new things and to,
Are you spreading your wings?
I'm very excited to spread my wings at a different school. So, and it just happens to be that Kelsey's at that school. And so I'll be able to work with Kelsey again and,
And bring her.
yeah.
No.
You're going to be in the same grade though, right?
Yeah, I'm going to stay as a second grade teacher.
Nice.
It's going to be closer to my house. I'll be able to like literally ride my little moped about 3
You'll
minutes.
fly there.
Meet me.
Yep. And it'll be about a 3-minute little scooter ride and I will be at my new school.
That's awesome. I'm so excited that you're going to be joining us next school year. I think every time I've move to a new position or school, it just changes your perspective and you just continue to grow and learn as an educator. So I think you're going to be an excellent addition to our staff, and I'm just excited about it. It'll be fun.
You.
Yeah. I'm excited for year 2 of our new school. We've put a lot of great things in place in year 1, and so I'm really looking forward to continuing to refine what we're doing for year 2. Kristen, do you have any changes for next school year?
Yes, I am making a grade level change. I'm still staying at the school that Celeste and I are at, but I am hopping down to kindergarten.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
So
gonna be
you'll
weird.
with the little baby chicks.
I will. the new chicks. It's gonna be a big change. I've been teaching first grade for, I don't know, 10 years. I don't know. It's been a long time, but I'm going to stick with primary. That's where my heart is. And, they're just so excited to be at school and give you lots of hugs, and they're going to be brand new.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Celeste, how about you? Are you making any changes?
No big changes for me, but that's okay. I am still learning my new role. I'm excited to be year 2 of being a learning coach, and this year was a lot of learning for me, and so maybe some confidence moving into next year. Like, hey, maybe I know what I'm doing a little bit this year.
Yeah,
So I'm excited for that.
All right, listeners on Loose, from freshly hatched chicks to light bulb moments in the classroom, change is all around us. So don't be afraid to spread your wings, because something exciting is always around the corner. Make sure to write in the comments how many chick puns you heard. You'll get a coffee on us.
And if you're really drunk, we're sorry.
We got carried away. We got some more too. Hold on. We want to hear all the exciting details. Tag us on Instagram at Teachers on the Loose or on X at TeachersOTL, and send us your story. Who knows, we might feature you in an upcoming episode.
Thanks for tuning in. And remember, laughter is the best part of any workday, especially when it involves chickens flying the coop.
Join us next week when we trade our textbooks for tug of war and talk all things field day, sun, sweat, and serious bragging rights. And watch Celeste take out some of the kids.
Some of the teachers too.
That's right. Watch out, people. I'm in it to win it.
This is Teachers on the Loose.
We go out to eat. Maybe we can get like chicken salad, chicken nuggets, chicken fried steak.
Kristen,
salad,
don't count your chickens before they hatch, okay?
Don't be such a rotten egg. Hey, what does a meditating egg say?
I don't know.
Omelette. Why did the egg hide behind his mom?
I don't know why.
He was a little chicken.
So on Friday, we were learning about the TION ending. And so I gave this as my daily joke. Why did the egg go to school?
I don't know.
To get an egg-education. And so then they had to spell education on their whiteboards.
What's an egg's least favorite day?
Friday.
Friday.
That's a good one.
What do you call a mischievous egg? A practical yoker. That's all for now, yolks.